Talk about some of the stuff that's happened recently. The Indian Navy has been in the news in the Gulf of Aden, in the Red Sea. You've seen these anti-piracy operations. You've seen these attacks by the Houthis, some of the ships, merchant vessels that were threatened. What are you doing? What is the Indian Navy doing to protect Indian ships or even commercial ships that are carrying Indian flags or Indian crew to try and protect the sea lanes?
See, firstly, I want to tell you that, is the Indian Navy's charter to protect, preserve, promote and pursue Bharat's national interests anywhere in the maritime domain. So therefore, we are very clear about what is our task and what we are expected to do. We have been participating in anti-piracy operations from 2008 onwards. We have deployed 24/7. So we have been deploying a ship continuously. So as of today, I would say about 106 ships have been there in rotation over the last so many years to provide security and escort the merchant vessels and so on. Since 2016 or so, we have been involved in Ops Sankalp, which was to assess the ships which are transiting in the Persian Gulf, because there were threats of attack and so on. So we have been deploying a ship there continuously. So now with this current situation where the post the Israel-Hamas conflict, the attacks on essentially Israeli-owned vessels has gone up substantially. If you look at the last 1 year, I would say there have been attacks. I would say maybe one attack in about 2 months or so. But since about in the 45-50 days since end of November, we have seen exponential increase in the number of attacks. So we have counted more than 40 to 43 attacks, drone attacks, and these are clearly evident in two distinct locations. One is the Red Sea, where we have seen about 15 reported attacks and many more near misses and some which have not been reported at all and so on. Okay. And the rest of the attacks have happened in the North Arabian Sea to the Central Arabian Sea.
I do want to talk about the Houthi problem though, because that is in a way linked to the conflict, the Israel-Hamas conflict as well. And that has added a new dimension to those shipping lanes because they are narrow, they are critical. I believe almost 60% of the world's maritime commercial traffic passes through those very narrow sea lanes. What is your understanding as to how how long that threat will persist and how it can be neutralized? And I come back to that point about how is it just Israeli ships or is it even ships that are of third-party countries like India or Indian crew that are under the target of the Houthis?
I would like to say that as of so far, the ships which have been attacked have largely been, Israeli linked or Israeli owned or some linkage with Israel or some Israeli company. No Indian flagged vessel has been attacked by the Houthis. Of course, some of these vessels which have been attacked did have Indian crew on board, which is the case normally with any vessel. You will find a certain number of Indian crew on board. So far, actually, no Indian vessel has been targeted by the Houthis. But it is interesting that, the dimensions of the conflict, if you look at it, firstly, I would say there is a systematic alignment of the asymmetric forces against nation states. That's one thing which is coming out in this. Like something is happening and, asymmetric forces are now aligning against the nation states, against whoever the coalition, the US-led coalition and so on. Second, I would say is that they are trying to now influence operations on land by carrying out activities at sea. Third, of course, that trying to raise the cost of trade. To interdict the trade, so that international community will be forced to probably mediate, etc.